This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have the code of the machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hi, folks. I'm MJ. I host the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, where we take old belief patterns and we flip them into the most conscious, positive ways that we can go to have balance, peace, and harmony in our life. So what are you doing with those old belief patterns and the old belief systems that you really don't believe in anymore, but you're made told to do it? Well, we're going to flip them right here on the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, right here on our beautiful mbradio.us. Good morning. Welcome to the World of Conscious Positive Thinking right here on mbradio.us. Today is so beautiful. Today is Cinco de Mayo. Jose Flores, baby, this is for you. The purple of Saint Germain and the violet sacred flames of Our Ladies. And this is my purples and greens today for Cinco. So I'm not telling everybody to go drink, but Cinco de Mayo, we honor our Spanish friends today and their cultures. So this is an honor, and I am so proud because that guy has so much motivation. Let me tell you, I really, if you've never seen Jose Flores, you need to watch him and follow him because he defies age, man. I said, I want to hear anybody from 40 years and older aching and paining when he's out there cruising in gyms and running across America. He's just so much energy, and that's what it's all about, energy. So our energy, that's what we're talking about today. What is energy? And what is Reiki? And how does that go with one another? Well, if you followed on 2 shows ago when we did frequencies, you're in for a beautiful treat today if you're following along. Because with those frequencies always comes healing energy. And they're like, come on, MJ. No, I'm not kidding. It started back millennials ago. Millennials. Here, let me show you. I just want to show you something. Yeah, see, I'm just going to show you. See this? These are energy spirals. I'm going to take myself off. Yeah, thanks. And behind my scenes is HR Nightmare. He is the gravy train, that guy. Thank you. So here we go. These are 24 ancient spiral symbols. And what you are looking at are hieroglyphics of millennial times. These are energy spirals. What is the spiral is one of the most ancient symbols appearing in cultures around the world for thousands of years. Its winding shapes represent the journey of life, growth, and transformation, often associated with the cycles of nature, such as like the seasons or the paths of the sun. In many traditions, the spiral in itself is seen as a powerful mystical symbol, embodying the concept of infinity. spiritual ascent and the connection between the material and spiritual worlds. Its reoccurring presence in ancient art and architecture suggests that early civilizations recognized its profound significance and its ability to symbolize the continuous flow of energy and the mysteries of existence. Now, look at that. Now, I just read you what all the spiral symbols are about. Some of these go back into Neanderthal and Ice Age times that they have been found. Some of these are found in fields that they have no recollection of how. The Triskel in itself has been known as one of the oldest ones, where they found that a lot of these other ones come from. So when you look at these, you conceive different denominations of time, all within, right? You have the Triqueta, Father, Mother, God. You have that in there. You have so many beautiful different denominations that, it's just an amazing little feat. So now I'm going to come back here. And then we're going to just come off of that screen for the moment. So now, continuous flow of energy. Those spirals in themselves, there's no ending and no beginning. What does that sound like? Any first opening words of anything anybody can realize? Kabbalah people, Asgard people, Bible people. There is no ending and no beginning, ever. A spiral is infinite. I love the number 8. Everything has to equal up into numerology 8. Why? That 8 is the spiraling of existence. It is an abundance of infinite power, infinite energy, infinite strength, infinite abundance, infinite of understanding, love, order. What am I naming? You might find out what I'm naming. You might find out that they might be some of the most incredible cell centers that our body can actually have. So the show today, what is Reiki? And it's funny because I feel there is such a new age of healing going on that it was time for let's to get down to basics, the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. And that's what it's all about, is finding this rhythm in all of us that we can connect to one another. And when we connect to one another, it's a beautiful whole new world out there. So let's go all the way back. Let's go back in time, and we're going to do it. And we're going to go to Reiki. Let's go back to basics. Here we go again. Reiki. Reiki is universal energy that is healing energy. So it's universal healing energy. When you read this, Reiki is a complementary healing therapy that originated in Japan, focusing on channeling universal life force energy and promoting well-being. It involves a particular lightly placing hands on or near somebody to facilitate the body's natural healing abilities. While not a substitute for medical treatment, Reiki is often used alongside conventional medicine for stress reduction, pain relief, and emotional support. But the word Reiki in itself comes from Japanese Buddhism. It's written in 2 Japanese, in kanji, which means Chinese characteristics. These kanjis mean spiritual energy. So if you actually look at the denomination of how Reiki is written, the top of the kanji is called Rei. Literally in Japanese, it is the spiritual or sacredness. And the bottom kanji is called Ki. Literally in Japanese, it means energy. So what do we have? We have spiritual or sacred energy of healing. That is Reiki. On down. And we are back up to, then we just remove that. And I'm back up. Here we go. So now we have spiraling energy that is known by all dimensions, all walks of life, from Native Americans to Neanderthal to Ice Age to Egypt to Taoism to Buddhism to Christianity. Wow. Always with circles. Look at the Christianity, the halos over the angels. Look at the thorn of roses over Christ's head. Hey, the circles, these are circles, these are time, these are energy bands, these are energy centers. It is time for us. Haven't you seen the portrait on Easter where the cave hole, what did they cover it with? A very round stone. I just love making these things, these connections. These connections are signs. Everybody go back to the 60s. Sign. Everywhere there's a sign. There is a sign. If you have that faith and you can open up those perpetual centers and you can understand. And then we have to heal. Why? Because man corrupted this vessel with their egos and their judgment. But that's on a different show. Let's get back. Okay. So let's practice with this quick exercise. I want everybody to write this little, and you probably won't be able to do it now, but I want you to listen because I want you to do this. Actually, you know what? Let's take a break because this little exercise that we're going to do might take a minute. So we're going to take a little bit of break here, just a small one. And we're going to give some shout outs to our friend Red with Fayware Travel because they're going in November. And we really want people to go on that cruise with them. And of course, our own DJ Claudio, who is on our music side. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to a quick break and then we'll be back. You stay tuned because our energy's flying today, baby.
It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandal's 16 all-inclusive, luxury included, adults-only resorts, or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get Thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
Tune in to Claddo's Cacophony of Sound every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern on Military Broadcast Radio at mbradio.us or on Twitch at DJ_Claddo. MBR, giving veterans a voice.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.
Okay, so book your tours and listen to Claudio. He's so fun. Okay, so here's the little trick about energy that if, especially for all the skeptics out there or my beautiful atheists, right? This is the most precious game that I love to play within energy circles. So you get yourself outside, hopefully with no leaves, no twigs, or no ruffling of feet. You don't want your hearing to be able to be felt. But it takes about 5 people. You have 4 different corners. And then you have the 5th person in the middle, completely blindfolded, right? And if you have to bag the head for people like me who are like, oh my God, can I just let me see? Because that's like human thing, right? I just want to see. So we can't see. So we just keep tipping our head back so that we can see. Nope, we don't want any of that. So put that blindfold on so you're completely dark and you're within silence. You don't want any other noises, so try to get yourself away from the noises with the people. Now, I want 4 emotionals, right? And I mean, this is really going to take some inner work on the 4 people who are around. But I want the one person to be angry and resentment and pointing a finger, having that within, like, oh, and I want you to really feel angry. On the other corner, I don't care which corner, I want that person to be happy, giggly, full of energy, thinking of the happiest times of their life. Then I want the other corner to feel pain. Anguished, overbearing, pain. And then finally, the last corner, I want that love, right? I want love feeling. Now, in order to play the game, These 4 people really have to get into that energy. They have to feel it, whether they have to be emotionally and cry about it, whether they have to be, but you have to try to be as silent as possible, because what you're doing is you're easing up on the center person. You're kind of creeping up on him or her in the middle. They have to be able to sense that energy, and they will. And they'll be able to tell you with that energy if these 4 actors, right? These 4 people can actually get into that energetic field. That center person then is going to be able to feel whatever energy is being thrown at them. Think about it. You don't even have to see to feel energy. Try it. Try that game. Just try it. Get 5 people. Make sure they can get into, what do they call that in Hollywood? Get into the act, get into their part, get into their scene, get into the character. There it is, the character. I knew it was going to come sooner or later. Get into that character, because that is where you are going to find a big difference. And you're going to go, wait a minute, how is it possible I couldn't see or hear, but I could actually feel it? You sensed it. Your intuitive side, your spiritual side, your soul felt that energy. It's the same type of energy some of us feel, that we always go, I just feel it in my gut. I feel it. Yeah. Clairsentient. You do feel it. You are sensing to it. You just can't either A, believe in it because your faith mind power center isn't there, or you don't want to. One of the two. But you have the sensories. Even soldiers have great sensories for fear and great sensories of nope, I can understand that. And no, we're not going to go there. They are sensories, and they are sensories by energies. So now that we have that, I want you all to really experience that game. It's actually fun, especially if you can get the people and characters. It's almost like family constellations. Have you ever heard of that one? Where people act out different rules within the family. So now let's get back to Reiki, because that's the game of energy. And Reiki, as we know, is universal healing energy, right? So now everybody gets to feel it. Reiki was developed by Mikao Usui in the early 1900s in Japan. Unless you take a deeper look into the hieroglyphs in Egypt and Neanderthal times and Stone Age times, some people might believe it was beyond him, but he brought it to existence. Why? Because 2025 years ago, our I am conscious presence, Jesus Christ, was truly a Reiki master. He was healing people with man's energetic powers of universal God energy. He healed the blind. He healed those who couldn't see. He healed those who had leprosy. How many passages in the Bible? And he was man. He was not anything else besides man. He was the most hated man and the most abolished man who ever lived. But he was of divine light. Because man's ego and judgment couldn't understand. And that's how radical life became. Dark age, right? Reiki is based on a belief that all living things possess an energy field, and that imbalance of blockages in this energy can contribute to illness. Furthering this is energy equals frequencies. So practitioners channel universal energy through our hands, right? If you ever actually held a hand of a practicing Reiki person and who has a high vibration, their hands are always hot. When I shake somebody's hand, I'm actually giving Reiki because of where I am in my dimensions and where I am in my frequency patterns and where I have, but it took me a long time. But my hands are always warm. They're always hot. They're always ready to assist. They're always ready to heal. And they're always ready when I am called to duty. Now I know, because my hands will be, cold. They will just go cold. I could be in the middle, or what I think would be the middle, because I am mere mortal, right? In this right moment, I am physical, living a spiritual experience, right? Or a spiritual being living in a physical experience. And which one do you believe? Because I believe that I am spiritual living in a physical experience. So for that, I have my hands tell me everything I need to know. Look at the Hobie picture. I don't know if I want to put it back up, but the Hobie picture where it's the actual energy source comes out of the hand, right? That is their depiction of a healer. That is their depiction of highest form of energy. It's almost like they wore the cross on their hand, right? So when I'm doing, and when my hands go cold, my sessions are done. If it's a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, when my hands are cold, that means my team, my God above says you're done with this person. Okay. So hands, feel your hands. Are they cold? Do they tingle? How do your hands feel? Mothers out there. Mothers are all Reiki people. Reiki in itself is a form. How many people of you, when you got hurt, or you stubbed your toe, or broke your finger, or you had an injury, and you're like, oh, ow, ow, and you're holding it, right? Hold it. Press it to stop the bleeding. Press it to keep it in. Press it, right? All of these things. Press it. Well, mothers, Reiki intuitiveness for healing energy is to put that pressure on it. Put it on there, right? It's your face, right? How many times you get hurt and your hands go right to that pain? Clinky dink? No. It was a learned practice, whether you like it or not, and I don't care if you're atheist, that is the I am presence of Jesus Christ himself with his hands. And you're singing on it. Now they'll say, but MJ, there was people before that. Yes, there was. Absolutely. There was. I can think of a whole bunch of people. You can see it in the hieroglyphs, how they would depict for the healing. Yes, which is why I'm saying this universal energy healing has been around for millennia. Yes. But man who made it aware was Jesus Christ. And who made it more aware in our new age because people stopped following was Mikhail Usi. And I love that. And remember, this is my take on my journey. So if somebody out there who is a Reiki master and you were taught differently, that is great. And that is their truth. But this is how I foresee this. And this is how I have learned it. This is my interpretational value. So Mikhail Usi in today's world is gifted as our greatest grand master because he brought it to fruition. Okay. Practitioners channel universal energy through their hands and to restore balance and flow of the recipient's body to their own. Father, Mother, God controls who, what, and when. Depending on the highest frequency the healer has, the higher frequency is thought to be distributed throughout all your chakras and all your clairs. Clairs and divine gifts are given in access to and from that healing souls when healers aspire to learn and vibrate as high into a density or dimension as possible. As Reiki healers, they go through emotional leases to heal themselves before placing hands on others. Okay? Some people practice that. Some people do not. Some people believe that in order for me to heal myself, I have to put my hands on somebody else. If somebody has emotional traumas set in their chakra energy portals, do you really think that you want their hands on you? Now, I'm not saying we are great, we are clean. I'm not saying that. Please do not say, MJ said. I did not say that. I said I would not prefer for have somebody to put their hands on me if they're not healed. Energy I just showed you is connecting. We connect energies. We connect that energy, and then we can push people to feel the energy. Hence the little game. If I feel angry and I keep pushing in, that energy, you're going to feel that anger, that resentment, that hate. The other way is when I have in total love and total happiness, you're going to feel that when they come into the room. How many people walk inside going, oh, I just don't feel like this? Well, that's an energy of a business. That's an energy of a place. The same thing we're talking about here as far as healers go. So if you have Reiki practitioners out there, research them. Ask them how much work they've had. Ask them where they've been. Ask them how long they've been practicing. Because reality, it's not like you go to school and you go to college and you're done. No. Your aim is to clear every negative aspect out of your realm of your chakras. There's 144 of them. There's a lot. And there's 12 mind power centers. There's a lot to clear. There's an emotional tie to the soul. Reincarnation brings life lessons, right? The journey, the path that we are on. We've chosen it. Here's how the healing and the energies exist. So healers go through these emotional races to heal themselves before we place our hands onto others. It is believed if you do not heal yourself first as much as possible, then you're transferring that energy, like I just said. So you really want to make sure to spend some time with the person who is going to perform some of these duties. Typically, a Reiki session involves the practitioner lightly placing their hands on or near the different parts of the body. Reiki has evolved into so many subcategories. So when we figure all these subcategories out, then we have the various forms. They're all, I can't state this clear enough. No matter what Reiki you take, every Reiki is going to go back to Christ, and it's going to go back to Mikao Usui. It's going to, because that is the basis and the basics. 1, 2, 3 ABCs. And we're going to hear me say that quite a bit. But incorporating different techniques and symbols that have been granted by gifts of divine, some of the most common Reikis became in effect. Usui Reiki is basic Reiki. You get 5 attunements. Then you have Karuna Reiki, Fire Reiki, Jikiden Reiki. I think it's Jikiden. Jikiden, I don't know too much about that one, but that one is one. Lightarian Reiki, Angel Reiki, Crystal Reiki, Light Reiki, Light Therapy, and Genendai Reiki, Unitarian Reiki. All of these different focuses aspect a different point of healing, from physical ailments to emotional and spiritual well-being. Now, that being said, I'm going to break down all of those more, and you're going to find the existence. But I'm going to take another quick break here, folks. We're going to go and let's just go to my favorite sweet potato pie. I love these ladies, and it's called Stand Up. Since it is Cinco de Mayo, we're standing up, we're blessed, we're happy with our friends and our balance of our neighbors in all aspects around the world. You're listening to mbradio.us, where we have the voices for veterans to rehabilitate and revocate ourselves. I am MJ, and you're watching the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. So stay with us while we go on our small little break. We'll be right back.
Stand up for the red, white, and blue. Stand up for the values we hold true. With gratitude I'll stand as our flag begins to wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Stand up, put your hand on your heart. Stand up for the freedom it imparts. Bless all who stand for justice. Bless all who stand for peace in the home of the brave and the land of the free.
Senior Airman Holland Pickard.
Specialist 4th Class Robert Summit, U.S. Army. Staff Sergeant Jerry Altman, United States Air Force.
Second Lieutenant Zachary Stead, Air Force.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the world of conscious positive thinking. I am MJ. So we were discussing the different types of Reikis before the break, and now we're going to get into those a little further here. So the first one is Usi. That is our ABCs 1, 2, 3. It's the original from the development of Mikao Usi, and it's the foundation for many other Reiki systems. Then we're going to go to Karuna Reiki. Karuna Reiki incorporates a wider range of symbols, focuses on emotional and spiritual healing, according to Flourishing Roots Wellness. Reiki in itself will do these things. I'm just telling you what man has brought to existence. Again, there's no judgment. One is not better than the other, but depending on who your master and your lineage is going to depend. So just know that this here, Karuna, is according to the Flourishing Roots Wellness. It also uses chanting and toning to enhance the healing. It is considered to work in a deeper, more cellular level compared to the traditional Usi. Now, why would you think that? Because the energy of our voice, our chanting, right? And those tones are enhancing the vibrational pattern. Think about it. If you just put your hands, that is one source of energy wave, right? Universal energy. But when you start chanting or you start using tones, now you're changing a frequency pattern into a deeper healing or more cellular healing. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's go to Holy Fire Reiki. Holy Fire Reiki is William Rand. William Rand is Mr. International Reiki Organization. He chooses how our Reikis are divided and lineages, and they kind of keep it all together. Again, my opinion, for whatever it's worth for anybody, sometimes judgment gets in the way. So, and I'm saying this with a lot of love, because there is some history that in all of us that we have to heal. But William Rand, he has the Holy Fire Reiki. It's the new form of Reiki that is said to have higher energy and is included in both Usi and Karuna Reiki training. So says Reiki.org. Okay. Jikiden, Jikiden Reiki. It is a very traditional form that emphasizes the original teachings of Usi and Hayashi. It says that it has inner essence holistic therapies. Again, one is not better than the other. It's all in how you were taught and all in how your belief system is. But you have to be open, and we have to understand that this side. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Terry. I forgot she came on. So this side of Haishi now is we're going to get into the lineages of this, and you're going to see how this one plays, okay? And why this now, the Jikiden Reiki, it emphasizes just in those teachings. But anyway, let's just keep going. So Laterian aims at expanding consciousness and spiritual development according to the Mana Self-Healing Center. So Laterian, that is used in just expanding our consciousness. And then we go to Angel Reiki. It blends Reiki with the energies of our archangels. And that again is by Mana Self-Healing. who has distributed and quoted that. You can find all of these as well on internationalreiki.org or reiki.com. They have all of these there. Crystal Reiki. Crystal Reiki obviously is using Reiki in combination with enhancing of our crystal energy powers or our crystal energies of earth vibrations, earth tones. Our earth is electromagnetics. So in our earth being electromagnetic, we get those frequencies off of those beautiful gemstones. So now let's move to light therapy Reiki. It's a modern style of incorporating traditional modern Reiki techniques with additional attunements that was set up to go forward by Belinda Hines. Gendaya Reiki, Gendai Reiki. It's a modern style that incorporates traditional and modern Reiki techniques, again, by the Mana Self-Healing Center, is what their acclamation is. It's important to note that the specific techniques and symbols used in each Reiki type can vary. Many practitioners may blend different styles to create their own unique approach. That is by William Rand of Reiki.org. In the medical news today, and WebMD report that Reiki is often used for stress reduction, relaxation, and pain management. Now, I believe in that so much. When I first was introduced to Reiki, I was really egotistical, to say the least. I was really judgmental. I had just a variety. Good morning, Amber, and I love those purple hearts, sweetheart. Oh, Saint Germain is with you. So many blessings. These are all DJs on MB Radio that they call out, and I'm so thankful that there is a station that encourages and enables that energy of excitement, and it actually flows. And what it does is it picks up each veteran who has a podcast or a DJ voice, and that is so in itself beautiful. Just know that wherever you end up, wherever you work, when you have a unit that works together and supports one another, the only outcome could be good. And everybody out there, there's an important day today for this network. They have such a special meeting here in the next 45 minutes that I want everybody to put their hands like Reiki, put that prayer and say, may divine grant MBR what they are manifesting in that abundance. That's all I want you to do right now. And that will help all of us here. And our HR nightmare behind the scenes is like, yes, please, please. But have the faith, right? We always have to have the faith. And we had that lecture. We have to have the faith. There is no what ifs. There's no buts. There's no howevers. There's no nothing. It is, this is what I'm willing and this is what I'm manifesting. I'm releasing my doves for MBR. So everybody out there do that. Thank you, Amber, for that reminder. As your hearts reminded me, don't ask me how, but it just did. So it's been proven, Reiki, not only for just a relaxation or a de-stressor, it's also been proven to heal diseases and ailments. I know somebody who was in a family of people who had breast cancer. And one at a time, the ladies at 40 were going downhill with this cancer. When this beautiful person turned 40, it was a very problematic time because it was when insurances and the Obamacares, and it was in a mess. We all remember those times. Her insurance, though she had calcifications come up, they would not pay for the prosthetics, the prophylactic, or the assistance to go forward. She had no choice but to look for something else because the Western medicine refused to give her an elective surgery on her insurance. This is when insurance is. So even though the family history line was there, Blue Cross and Blue Shield said no. This beautiful person decided that she was going to seek out this Reiki, and she was going to know that it was going to heal her. So for months, she went over and over again to a Reiki practitioner, Reiki healer, and they Reiki'd that spot over and over and over again with the same mantras, the same full of, I understand my body has this calcification, but my body heals itself, right? Months later, I want to say 6 months to a year later, same person goes back for another mammogram. It's not there. You know what they said to her in Western big pharmacy medicine? Well, maybe it just disappeared. Maybe it not disappeared. No, what'd she tell me? Not it just. It was something about the X-rays, or there must have been a bad film. Yeah, it was a bad film. That's right. But it just disappeared. Huh. Be careful the mind of God. Be careful the energy and the power of God. Father, Mother, God. That power of energy is beyond. And if you are an atheist saying, I don't believe in it, you did. You do. It's just deep somewhere, because this is your time to try to pull yourself out of an unbelief system. I'm not here to say you're right or you're wrong. I'm here to say that all single one of us has the I am presence of our soul, and we all are in a physical vessel. So keep that in mind when you think that you are at a despair. Don't let this thing here control that, because your mind power is conditioned to think negatively anytime there is a medical condition, whether it's physical, mental, or spiritual problem going on. We always know who holds the wheel. And as the country song says, Jesus, take the wheel. Take the wheel. I want to be healed. Convince your mind center that you're being healed. It is an energetic connection that we all can do. Western medicine couldn't heal some of these people, but yet Christ did. Mikau Usi did. Proved it with Takata, who you're going to learn her here in a minute. It's amazing how it just goes in a big circle. And it all started in this new age by a man named Mikau Usi. But it really started by a man named Jesus Christ, who was man walking this earth. And we all can agree to that, because every denomination and every religion that there is for healing practices shows that he was there. Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism. He was all there. He was learning it. Egyptologies. Every denomination there was, he was there. But you can't see that because the Bible doesn't talk to you about age 25. But if you take theology courses of different, they wrote about this man, Jesus Christ, who came to practice and study. It's an amazing thing. So think about it. It's now part of every alternative healing modality. And it can often be found now in our hospitals besides just private practices. I know the VA has started it. I know Geisinger up here has started Reiki practitioners. Problem with these things, if they have a Reiki certificate, they're hiring them. Bad, good, and indifferent. Are they healed? Are they emotionally healed? Have you done the work and study some of these people? Please do. I can tell you, I'm going to tell you my journey. I'm going to tell you my journey soon. Let's get through self-healing Reiki. Because not all Reiki students teach practice on others or use it on a daily basis. I was taught by 3 different masters of Reiki myself. Originally, when I told you I was 28, I was talked about it by my sister. My ego and my judgment was, I was gifted with all the freaking clairs. Why the heck do I need that? I pushed it away. Then I decided after hearing her, I was going to go check something out. So I went and I checked it out. And I had a Reiki practitioner who didn't try to heal any part of my being, did not try to do anything besides take my money, hold me for a weekend, and give me a certificate. It was pretty sad because I felt no different. I didn't feel that anything changed. Nothing. Many years later, I ended up owning a crystal store and a metaphysical shop in the back and a holistic center in the very, very back. And this beautiful master, again, when asked, how come I'm not certified in Reiki, and she had beautiful intuitive gifts, and she is a beautiful soul, and she was taught, and how she was taught. But she went through 8 years of A Course in Miracles, this master. So her divine energy, you just want to squeeze her cheeks and hold on to her. Her divine presence, she had to turn her own life around. Her story is remarkable in itself. And I honor and respect because she bridged me. That master bridged me into where I am today. Because if it was not for her and her crystal Reiki teaching, I would have never went on to light therapy. I would have just remained what I know, and by the gifts of God that have been installed in me since birth. Am I special? Everybody's special. Every single one of us are special. And every single one of us have our own divine gifts. When we understand energy, understand that negative emotions or negative sides of any type keep our vibration down. Most people are religious, but they're not faithful. When I ask somebody, do you have faith? They're like, I go to church all the time. I'm religious and I preach the Bible and I do the Bible. And I didn't ask you if you were a Bible religious person or a scroll religious person, or I didn't ask that. I asked if you had faith. Why? Because faith is practiced 24/7. Faith is practiced by the I am consciousness. That is faith. And the energies of faith allow us to climb higher in vibration towards our beautiful Father and Mother God. And that is quantum physics, trying to elevate to the void of no existence. That no existence is the existence of the energy that we call God or divine, right? It all comes together. Good morning, Miss Paula. Good morning. It always will come together for us. So this beautiful master that I talked about, she taught the basic Usi, but she also incorporated her crystal modality, hence crystal Reiki. And it is now, crystal Reiki is a thing. They want to know what the crystals do while we're healing the body. You do not have to pick just one type of Reiki. You can incorporate, if you are a Reiki practitioner, you can incorporate different eclectic patterns of different Reikis. And you can incorporate them all into one. That's a big yes, yes, you can. And there is, I don't know if there's a no. When you are truly a healer, you are intuitively guided by your masters, by your ascending masters, by your angels, by your guardians, by those who protect you and those who are with you with your life purpose and your soul's purpose, right? That was way back in my very first episode, Life Purpose, Soul Purpose. Where are we here for? I've gotten the chance to see just how these different healers and these people, all walks of life, and what I've seen, I didn't really like. I was looking at teachers who were teaching for money, that they just wanted to their abundance, because they took the course and they took the course of how to make masters. And then these masters got to teach others and make their money. So they're about teaching and they're not about healing. See the difference? So you're teaching so that you collect money so that they can become teachers and they can collect money. So that's not quite how it balances in the overall, right? Because money in itself and an energetic exchange has to be balanced. You also find there's a lot of people who are teaching who are not healed. There's a lot of ego and judgment. There is a lot of things that they state within the classes that you look at them going, no, that's man. That's not God. That's man who taught you that. Then you have teachers who are just teaching their modalities or their gifts that God gave them. Well, if you're teaching those gifts, why? I might never have it. God might never give me those gifts. So why are you teaching modalities? Teach the course in the retrospect, but don't teach a modality of an energy that God gave you. For instance, everybody has gifts, but unless you reach a certain level in frequency and in balance within the body, God knows He's not going to give you something to use inadvertently. He's not going to give that to you. I have faith and I trust in so much in Father, Mother, God that they actually assist. You can almost see it that somebody proclaims, yeah, I'm a Reiki master, because now this term is just being flown. It's pretty sad. It's kind of like, the abuse of the words and some of the attunements. And it's sad because this is where it's become. Reiki in itself was supposed to be sacred. Now you see Reiki symbols everywhere. People don't know what they are. They're misusing them, mistreating, right? What happened when man mistreated Earth? God created the Ice Age. What happened when man was in dark ages again? Well, then he made a flood. I will take you out. So I have faith that if it goes into teachings of wrong, God protects. Why? Because it won't mean anything. It would be like my first master. It did nothing for me. I could take a history class, or I can Google history like today. I could Google all of this. I could Google every single thing that you are in different places and put it all together, and I could teach it. But if you don't believe it and you don't open up your centers, how are you going to heal that? Teaching out of a book with no corrections to change, and then allowing people to use those attunements and not keeping them sacred. Now, these are all types of different teachings. Sorry, folks. Kind of a little laryngitis yesterday. So now I want to go. I think I should take a break. We're going to take another quick break. And then when we come back, I want to show you the lineages. How is important is the teachings of the lineage. Now, I love my grandmaster. I do. And she's part of my lineage because she is of utter balance. God love her. She is 86, I believe. And she says Reiki is Reiki. One is not better than the other. It is just what God granted to help and assist when you needed for that particular person as a true healer. A Reiki master therapist. Right? So let's take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to discuss how important is the lineage of that person teaching you. So that being said, you're listening to mbradio.us right here, where veterans always have a voice. And my name is MJ. And I am here with the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. And we are going to go to one of my old favorites, Into the Light. Here we go.
the station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
That is Third Class, Walk into the Light. I love them. Somebody, I want my picture with them somehow, some way, because it's such an inspiration, such an inspiration. So back to the lineage of Reiki, lineage of this energy, lineage of where it comes from. So here we go. I'm going to put up another little screen here for you guys because I really want you to see how beautiful these people are. Here you go. Okay, so as we look, and the lineage is so important, I understand the founders of modern Reiki starts with Mikao Usui. Yes, it does. But I truly believe if we actually look 2,025 years ago at the birth of Jesus Christ, with his hands of healing, he was truly our first healing of the ill Reiki Grandmaster. And for that, I will honor him in this modern cycle. Now, you won't find it online because when we talk about Reiki, it is known to be Mikao Usui. There are some people out there who write things, and there's now, as we go through, you're going to see people are going to say, that's not true. He did that. I'm sure he taught, but he didn't give permission to be the teacher. It's pretty sad where we are today. There are millions and millions every day of the week getting Reiki. And that is beautiful. Beautiful. I hope and I pray. I don't hope, MJ. I have faith to know that God protects us and heals us with energetic forces in the bubble of light, that it is not being corrupted. It is not being mistreated. And I pray that that balance will stay, because these three here, Mikao, I call him Hayashi, and Takano. So the founder, Mikao, through a line of teachers and their training, it's like a spiritual family tree demonstrating the continuous passing down of the Reiki knowledge in our practices. This lineage, to me, is very important. Why? Because it also as reflects and information of Reiki masters will transmit to their students. Once connected into the highest vibrations of divine, that information is always coming through. You can't turn it off. I always make the comment at night when I want to shut down my brain. When my DMT comes open, I always say, hey, I'm physical. I have a right to stop. So I end up having to either completely stay unconscious so I can get a downtime. Because if not, it just comes through. Now they say, as my hierophant, my teachers will say, but it's your choice. You can do with the information what you want. I go, but I don't want that information right now. Where does that? I'd rather that information when I am, at a vital energetic state during the day than at night to keep me awake. Does that make sense? So it's a balance. We always have to find the balance. So Mikao would teach, but he not necessarily gave the information to be a teacher. Okay? So you go to school, you teach ABCs 1, 2, 3s to elementary and you go. Doesn't mean you're a teacher just because you learned it. Or does it? I don't know. How do you feel? Well, if I took a basic 1, 2, 3 ABCs course, and then can I proclaim that I'm a teacher? What happened to the people who had to go through child behavior things and they had to go through all this other stuff in college just to become that teacher? Is that balanced? I don't think so. But Mikao, he would teach or he would heal. So people would hear him. People would see him. But in reality, Mikao discovered the Reiki through a profound spiritual experience. during a 20-day meditation retreat on Mount Kirarama. He fasted, he prayed, and he meditated for 21 days, seeking to accelerate his spiritual development. On the 21st day, he had transformative experience, feeling like a great light had entered his head and filling him with energy, which is now why he named it Reiki. It was the universal energy of healing. One of his students, Hayashi, became now the second grandmaster that we know today in modern Reiki. Hayashi was literally a disciple of Mikao Usui, played the major part of the transmission of Reiki out of Japan. He was as essential in getting Reiki out of Japan and into the hands of others. As you see that Usui passed, Hayashi then, as a naval physician, he was a doctor, physician in the Navy, and employed Reiki into treating his patients. He began studying with Usui in the early 1920s. So let's just say 20 to 26, he had 6 years of practice with him. He made his branch as Hayashi's Reiki Kenkui Kai in Tokyo. Shimanani Machi. Man, I have to put all that up because that is way too much. But you can look him up and you can see all this information. Usui gave him his mastery in 1925. That's when he got his license to practice Reiki. Usui was still alive and he kept the way of Usui's teaching. Hayashi is responsible for initiating all of the hand placements. There's hundreds of pages from Hayashi. He has this huge PDF form of hand placements for different ailments. So if you ever are a Reiki practitioner, master out there, maybe those will have all of those PDFs printed out for others to see. But because of technology, we don't print anything out. You can find them online, and it just becomes just a little bit easier all the way around. Anyway, so the founder of the Jidinkin Reiki was Hayashi. So Jikinden, Jikiden, which I could never pronounce, it actually came from Hayashi. And that is the hand placements for all of the centers of the major illnesses. So if somebody comes to you with cancers or polios or some other types of form of ailments, maybe you might want to take them up. My teachers taught us that we are guided by God. Universal energy is sought out for healing, and we are intuitively guided into those areas. You'd be surprised. I just had this weekend, I was practicing Reikis. We were doing rewires, and that is not a normal. People like, I don't understand what that is. It is called a rewire, and it is a gift that I was been able to give, where I can connect my power centers to the chakra centers. So there's 144 to the 12. We connect them. We open up these centers to make them work. And then that process leads to people making decisions more clear, especially those who constantly have anxieties, fears, stress, depressions, mental acuities, because their mind isn't balanced, or they're using medications to try to balance that. So what do? We do rewires. When I am working on ailments, physical disease ailments, I also do rewires. Why? Because it gives the positive affirmation of the mind to say, I understand my body's a disease, but my body can heal itself. That's EFT tapping, why you say those beautiful mantra words. So Hayashi, he discovered all of these hand movements, or these hand positions, in order for the highest benefit to heal these illnesses. It's an amazing thing. Now, Hayashi, he died in 1940, but he died because he committed seppuku. If anybody knows seppuku, it is the Japanese form art of suicide. Now, let me tell you about this man. True to form, Japanese Buddhist culture with background of samurai. Seppuku is a Japanese ritual suicide where the samurai kills himself by cutting into his belly. After one had done so, the second person would then cut off his head. It was thought that the seppuku was an honorable way to die as a samurai. Sometimes in today, that particular is called harakiri. How many people know about that? Oh my God, it's like hari, which is translated to Japanese as belly cutting. So look at the connections. Oh my God, it's harakiri. I know growing up, I heard the word. Didn't really understand it. And when I started putting things together for this beautiful little thing, I was like, look at that. Just look where these things come from. And it comes all the way back. Now, why is Haishi such an awareness of him saying that he's responsible for bringing it over? He is truly another grand master for us, because he was as essential in assisting to bring it across and spreading what Mikhail and Christ was trying to set the examples to show people that you can heal your body. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. When you were born in, you were conditioned by man. You've forgotten who you were. Hence, when somebody trespasses against us, what do we say? Father, forgive them. They have lost their way. Father, forgive them. Different, but not different. So now we go down to Hiwaya Takata. Now, she was a Japanese woman, but she was born in Hanamanuli territory of Hawaii, who helped introduce this spiritual practice of Reiki into the Western world. Takata was trained in Reiki by Haishi in Tokyo, Japan, and became a master practitioner by 1940. Haishi had learned from Mikao, and it was the first teacher, as you see, of Reiki in the early 1900s. Identification of training lineage is common among Reiki practitioners within the tradition. Takata is sometimes known as the Reiki Grand Master Teacher from Hayo Takata. Reiki originated from Buddhism. Remember this. But Reiki has no denomination, none. It is universal. It has no distance. Because Mikao was Buddhist, he was able to use those teachings in order to have the fundamentals from Father, Mother, God to allow this experience and that meditation to come through. Now, Takata herself was fallen ill in Hawaii, uncurable. She sought after this Haishi center as a natural healing center to heal her body that the Western medicine could not heal. So she goes to Japan and she stays with Takata. After numerous years, she ends up healing her body with such a spectacular turnaround for herself of the awareness of this ailment. When she comes back to the Western world to take all the tests again, she finds out she is healed. At that, she now becomes one of the 13. Now, I was taught that he granted teaching to 13. So Mikao only granted Haishi to teach it. Not that he didn't teach what it was, but he granted the permission to move. That came from divine. Now, Haishi taught 13. So 1 to 13. So now Reiki is spreading like wildfire. 13 equals the number 4. In case you're a numerologist, there's your 4. And here we are. Now we have this beautiful lady from the United States, from the Western, from Hawaii, who goes over there severely ill, Nothing can fix her. They told her, no, you have, you got a bad playing card. You got, got a bad hand. Can't change it. Can't put it in. Yikers, right? So she goes and finds this help, having faith that she knows that there's a purpose, having faith that she knows something can help her, something can help heal her, on and on and on. And here we are. It heals her. She becomes this. Now she becomes a Reiki master therapist teacher, granted by Haishi. She brings it across into the States, and she starts initiating her teachings. However, even though she taught and even though she was a healer at this point and a therapist, she only granted 22 Reiki masters. 22 Reiki masters. Takata then dies, December the 11th of 1980. And she actually dies in Iowa. She had moved out of Hawaii to do some of her teachings to land-based United States. And she ends up dying at the Van Buren County Memorial Hospital in Kasawaka, Hawaii, Kiyosaka, Hawaii. I don't remember. I don't know how to say it, but Iowa people, Iowa. I don't know how to say that. Keosauqa, Kiyosawaka. I should have maybe had an AI try to pronounce it. But then again, sometimes pronunciations just don't go through. Anyway, and so Takata is known now for introducing here in the West the Usi Reiki. After World War II, she had her treatment center from Haishi. Important information that we need to take into consideration again is, where did it start? Well, in our minds of the 20th century, in our 20th century here, it had to start with Christ. Remember, I told you Christ studied Buddhism. He went and studied Buddhism, and not just in China and Japan and Korea, North Korea, these areas. No, they were a province as they were today, but it was still Taoism, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, which is all part of a Buddhist culture. So now what we see at first hand is Usi had the original 5 attunements that was granted to him by Father, Mother, God, these attunements to use. Haishi then now is responsible for adding all of the hand movements for the sick. And then Takata is now in the retrospect of our Grand Masters as the oneness of the Reiki principles. She is the original person who brought in the 5th Reiki principle. Now we're going to be bringing those up a little bit later, but she's that responsible. So she's responsible for initiating Haishi, incorporating Mikau's philosophies of modern Reiki practices of this universal energy healing into the United States. Now, she initiates out of her students 22 Reiki masters. 22. So it went from 1 to 12 to 22. Today, it's an infinite amount of people who are granting, and it's all because of money. And that's how I see it. I see it as a form of greed for some. I told you my first Reiki master, I learned nothing. I had no papers. I had no nothing. She basically did what I'm doing here today. She read these things, but she didn't understand within the practice of how or why, or it wasn't given to her that way. It wasn't given to me that way. Whatever reason. Right? There's always a reason for every season. There's always a reason we have to learn. There's always a reason why we have to go through things. Now, her 22 students, one of her students by the name of George Araki, Araki, then was taught to become one of the 22 Reiki masters. From there, it went to the Foresters. The Foresters were a husband and wife team. The Foresters then became an essential part because then they came into this beautiful lady practitioner in the 70s. Her name is Belinda Hines. Belinda Hines, just like Jesus, who was granted the abilities through divine energy in every interpretation and every meditation, just like Mikhail Usri, who went into the 21 meditation, who received all of these. Now we have Belinda Hines. Belinda Hines now became in the fascinating spiritual journey, and she was channeled and she downloaded, just like Jesus Anusi, she received the additional set of attunements. Now, these were beyond Reiki, and they made sure that she was aware these were attunements beyond Reiki. Now, these attunements, what we now know as light therapy attunements, these attunements that she received were embedded so that one could heal themselves. So beyond Reiki light therapy became a course to be taught to actually go within us, not become a teacher, not become all this. No, to come within us, to start balancing and start healing all that no longer serves the highest purpose. We can have back to health. We can align chakras. We can go through the 12 mind power centers, which is what it does. Every mind power center that she taught to open was clarity of the attunement of the Reiki that she gave. Yes, I can't remember the lady's name off the top of my head. I should have wrote it down, and I didn't because I didn't think I was going to use it. But there is somebody out there who in the 70s did this whole psychological workup about mind power centers and wrote them. And they even have a book about them. And I know my master's out there going, why can't you remember the book? I don't know because I'm not a reader. But anyway, there is somebody who put it out there. Now, according to the teachings of Reiki light therapy, they don't really follow suit. They follow more a chaotic pattern of the conscious mind than they follow the suit of healing in Reiki. Again, these are my words. This is how my interpretation center sees it. This is how I follow it. This is how I go forward when people ask me these questions. These attunements were taught by light therapy beyond Reiki. One of Linda's students happened to be the name Ida Diaz. Ida Diaz is my grandmaster. Ida Diaz is the essential part in, I believe, in bringing it here into the East Coast. Essential. Because her practice of just her little pixiness is just beyond any energy you would ever. I was so granted and honored to be able to meet this Grand Master. I think I had tears the whole time. I was so emotionally distraught seeing her and the energy of her purpleness around her. It was an amazing spiritual event. That the Christ light of God shined so bright upon her teachings, shone so bright of her healing, that I knew finally I was at the right place where I was supposed to be. I knew without a doubt this is where I was supposed to be. This was the evidence, or this was what I needed to continue the journey that I started to go on. Now, Ida Diaz teaches, and now here comes my master, my Hierophant, Kim Malley. Kim Malley was granted from Ida to teach. Miss Kim was not the only one that she gave this permission to. But as divine hails, right? The people who she gave before Miss Kim never taught it. So it's like the Masonries. It was a secret society kind of thing where divine will put you there if that's where you're supposed to be. If not, it's not for you. So I love that, because for whatever reason, when students start these classes, and I've seen it firsthand on myself after so many years, about 6 years now, I've been with Miss Kim in these teachings, and I'm there as her energy. I'm an energist. So I hold the energies because I have the clairs. I get to see the masters, and I get to tell these beautiful students they're masters. And what an honor for me that Kimmy has incorporated that beautiful gift into now her practices. So they always say, you build it, they will follow, they will come. She's building it. Why? Because the lineage has taken her there. And we can remove this. So that lineage is so important. This type of Reiki includes the 12 mind power centers. And it also includes the attunement to assist in healing ourselves. The therapy cannot be taught in a weekend or online. Courses taken online, I'm going to tell you, the radial waves for the attunements need to be placed in the hand. That is Mikao Usi's teaching. It is a physical exchange of energy. Yes, you can astral project and you can do distance Reiki. But when you're putting the attunements inside of somebody's hand, and we have seen this numerous times with people taking online courses, the airwaves of this transmission have broken things, have broken attunement things. And we've seen it not once, not twice. We've seen it so many times that we'd have to come back, remove, and then we have to push back in. And people can say, you know, MJ, it is what it is in my development and what I see, right? But I can believe that. Because if I study something online, I get the, ooh, like I can feel it. But when it's in real person time and it's directly into my skin, it is a change like no tomorrow. It is like ending the 12-step process for AA. It is such an euphoric feeling. You don't ever want to let go. You want to stay in that, and you can't. Because now that you were taught how to balance and taught how to heal and taught how to live in divine grace with humility and love at our side, it's a balance. And nobody can take that away. And then when you have the diebacks, you're like, no, I want to stay there. I want to stay in that euphoricness. People who are religion, they go to church, and on Sunday, sometimes when they feel that music, they need to stand or they cry and their hands are up because they feel that grace of God coming through that soul. It is amazing. It is an amazing thing to feel that. So I love the journey that I had to take in order for me to get all of these. Actually, I think there's 27, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's 27 attunements. I didn't write it in my notes, but you get all of these and you open up those mind power centers to assist in healing others. This is just a development of lineage of grand masters who assisted in opening up our trauma centers to release emotional decoding. These emotional decodings come in the pattern of 369 light code. 369 light code is to the hara. At our feet, we have 369. To our core is 639. And in our top, it is 936. We can even go further at 963. That is the light code. And further understanding life balance. So, with this lineage of learning, with Mikao Usi and Takata, we now going to go to this last slide. But before I do that, we got to go commercial. We have to go to another commercial. We have to give praises and we have to sing our joys. And I think what we're going to do next is probably Let's just go to, anybody have a thing out there? I'm going to do Dallas Alexander. He's my love. I'm going to go with him. Let's go with him. To a Hero.
Well, to a hero, I say, I hope to see you again on some sunny day. And to a hero, and the love you left behind, I'll try my best to pass it on till the end of my time. And to a hero, you're gone, but I have no doubt that you have made it home. And to a hero, taken way too soon, over there in that dusty country, an Afghan afternoon. To a hero, and the little one you left behind, I hope he grows up with your passion, I'm sure he will with time. And to a hero, a warrior through and through, you were taken way too early, what can we do? Well, we can try to keep your spirits alive, we can try to be nice, we can not take for granted all the beautiful things in our lives. We can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. To all the heroes taken from our lives, at home or in those countries, fighting for what's right. Now we can do this for you and all your kin, and make this world a better place for your kids to grow up in. And we can try to be true, admit when we don't have a clue, and be there with the ones we love until our time is good and through. And we can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. Yeah, we can try to keep your spirits alive, and we can try to be nice. We can not take for granted all the beautiful things in our lives. We can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. Well, to a hero, I say, I hope to see you again on some sunny day. All right.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.
I love that song. That song, gosh, Dallas Alexander nailed it. Nailed it, man. Nailed it. Such beautiful words. And thank you for allowing us here at MBR to play your beautiful words, your beautiful songs, your beautiful tunes. So, talking about Reiki practices, we're going all the way back. And here we are again. So now let's go to one of my final signs. I'm gonna come off stage here, folks. But because I want you to see this. This is my truth. Today, this is my truth. It's hard to try. Uh-oh. Did you guys not hear my principles? Terry said she can't hear. So that's stinky. I thought you could hear me. So the principles are all what I was telling you. These principles are for healing practitioners. We say them daily. They're eternal. They're embedded. We live by this code of ethics. We honor this code of ethics. So thanks, Terry. So I'm going to try this again. So let me try to add it to the stage again. I'm just going to redo this real quick. So good morning to you, Red from St. Vincent. I mean, that is now, there it goes. See, I can't even, I'm just so jealous and envious of you. Even though I've been to St. Vincent, I know you're there right now on Fairway Travels. God bless you, Mr. Red. Yes. Okay. So just for today, let's go back and redo these. These are the quick principles. Just for today, I will not worry. Now, again, I was saying that you didn't hear me, so it doesn't really matter. According to the International Reiki and according to the principles that I've learned, just for today, I will not worry comes out as number one on this particular thing. And this principle in itself allows us to let go of any anxiousness, any formality that encourages us to let go of excessive worry and anxiety. It also promotes the sense of appreciation and trust and unfolding of life rather than being consumed by the hypothetical negative outcomes that most man's judgment and ego want to put out there. The next one that we go through is just for the day, I will not be angry. This is the principle that emphasizes letting go of anger and resentment. It is unhealthy. It causes our bodies to break down. It encourages a mindful approach on daily interactions and challenges and focuses on present moment, calmness rather than dwelling on negativity. Just these first two things. Can you understand if you had a Reiki practitioner trying to put their hands on you and they didn't live by this? There it is. They're giving you the anger, the resentment, the anxiety, the worry, the fear. If you are 100% healed by these principles that we practice every day, and it's a hard practice. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. It is very hard to stay balanced. I said when there is so judgment and so much ego out there. I still get, ooh, why am I so angry? I tap it out. I'm like, ooh, I have to come back, right? Because we are a product that every minute of every day, we keep going around the sun, and we have to understand by these principles every day. Remember them. Do not get angry. Do not be hypothetical. Do not live in worry and anxiety and stress. Do not live in that fear pattern. Why? Because there's nothing to fear. Where is that great quote? Nothing to fear but fear itself. Why? If you have faith, if you are a true believer of Father, Mother, God, I don't care what religion you are in, y'all have the same God. We all do. And that God is our governor to our faith. And we must trust in that process. Those first two, man, they're big on mine. They're big on my principle list to always remind me, because my personality matrix, remember that show? three shows ago. That one creeps up on me a lot. So I have to practice it, right? Do not let that. Well, and we always say, if you're angry, you did it. You have to figure that out. So let's go keep moving. To be grateful. This principle encourages gratitude and appreciation for all aspects of life, big or small. It helps us focus towards the positive and fosters the sense of contentment and well-being. The fourth one, just for today, I will do my work honestly. Oh my goodness, honestly. This principle emphasizes the integrity of ethical behavior in all aspects of life, both personal and professional. If you are a proven liar, that's a hard one. People will not trust you. People will lose the integrity value of you because they caught you even in the smallest damn lies. That is the worst one for me, when I know that I have to live or be with somebody in my realm who is a pathetic and constant embellisher and liar. That one, and I already know. So why does that still bother me? Is it because that energy circle comes and it hits me? I feel that. You feel it. Think about the people in your life who you're like, you constantly go, oh my God, is that the truth? And then you have to freaking research to figure it out if it's the truth or not. Because there's an imbalance. That energy is creating something's not right with that story. You know those people out there. You know them. So the last one. This last one was made not by Mikao Usi himself. This one was added, and it was added by Takata from Hawaii, who brought it over. Be kind to every living thing. This principle promotes compassion and empathy for all living beings, no matter what. It encourages kindness and understanding towards others and extending kindness to oneself's wellness. These principles are not just guidelines for living, they're also the framework and personal growth for our transformation as every human being on the place of this earth. Whether you are a Reiki healing master or not, please live by these. These are beautiful rules to live by, and I love them. These practices can lead to a more peaceful, balanced, and fulfilling life. This is all my truth. My learning and my capabilities, I found what I was looking for. I wanted the most direct source possible to Usi and Christ consciousness, and I found it. I am proud to be a 9th generation Reiki light therapy master therapist. It's my honor. I get choked up when I get to actually help heal somebody, and I know when their body is presented in front of me where their ailments are, and they look shocked when I tell them. They look shocked when they feel better, but then they keep coming back for more. Why? Because that Christ light was given to them. If a Reiki practitioner does not make you feel the aha moments, or they don't make you feel that you have healed, find another one. Find that energetic connection. There are all levels. And as you advance in your level, you find that next master. You find that next person. You find that next teacher in your life to create this beautiful balance. Many Christians have told me, because having a holistic shop is pretty hard, especially if you have it in a very, very public village or arena setting. I would come in and I would have to ascertain every denomination. My shop held 13 denominations. I've talked about this. And it's very hard to watch a Christian come into my store to try to tell me that I'm evil, or to try to tell me that I'm a witch, or try to tell me that I am something of a darker, lower vibration than what I am. And I smile. Why? Because judgment and ego come from an unknownness, an unconsciousness. Because they don't know, it's obviously bad. But when I can actually sit down and talk to my friends and families who are Christians, who don't believe that I am that. That's a song. I am that I am. Anyway, they have told me that practicing Reiki provides them the opportunity to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, healing the sick. Right back to the original lineage. In fact, one of the gifts of spirit that the Apostle Paul speaks about in the Bible is healing. And practicing and sharing Reiki has no denominational value with others. You can honor the Christ consciousness and his selflessness. It almost makes me tear up. Wow. And then the Bible does not explicitly mention chakras. And most Christians, perceptives, caution against engaging with them due to their association with New Age and non-Christian spiritual practices. Now, I have to stop there. So, while the Bible acknowledges spiritual realities, it emphasizes reliance on God's truth and the work of the Holy Spirit rather than seeking spiritual experiences through practices like chakra balancing. So, a doctor of Western medicine is okay, according to the Christians in the Bible. But spiritual medicine of Jesus Christ is not okay because they can't understand it, because they haven't felt it. I implore you, if you just go to somebody who has a Reiki circle, a fire circle who incorporates Reiki within the new moon, which we will be having one, my first one up here on this beautiful, beautiful Shashaquin Mountain. I will bring in those Indians They are beautiful energy, and I will be bringing in every energy possible for people to feel that. It is that energetic form that we miss in our daily lives of society today. It is that energetic pattern that we need to bring into our soul. We need to bring back into modern awareness. People know my story. I used every single one of these practices to heal my own body. My Hierophant, my masters, my grandmasters, you heal you first. When you have healed, the world around you will heal. But if you don't heal, you're going to have, and you're calling in the same chaos. Did you realize that? What you resound gives you back. What you feel always comes back in. So if you're angry, the energy around you will be chaos. If you're jealous, the world around you will destroy your love. If you're happy, more things will be brought in. If you're balanced, it's hard. It is hard. It is emotional work. And like I tell every single student when they get emotion and they want to quit, I tell them, because you have emotion doesn't mean you're going to die. You may not, it may be uncomfortable to you, but what's the end result? You're going to keep a hold of something as a trauma life pattern, and now you're going to have to come back and live it again if you don't release it. Father, forgive them, for they have trespassed. Father, forgive them, right? If it's that type, if it's a healing of disease or ailment, take it out. We already talked about frequency energy. So now you have frequencies, and you have crystals, and you have herbs of the earth with shaman practices. And then you have the energetic healing of Father and Mother God through Christ's hands. That these beautiful humans, again, practice the faith like Christ. Moses was man. Angels came to him. Mary was woman. Angels came to her. How do people today not believe that God and angels talk to us? There's songs about, I believe there's angels among us. Yes, has to be. Has to be. Because we are divine individuals. We are electromagnetic beings. And we, as our soul, will always remain. And we all know. But we got to push out that ego and judgment in order for us to heal. I've watched it. I've watched it numerous times. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by taking a pill. Well, it's going to help your acne, but you might have liver disease or kidney disease. Or get a Reiki practitioner. Get somebody who can get frequencies moving and healing and positive affirmation inside of that beautiful brain of yours. The higher and positive and goodness is, the less negative energies will come to you, I promise you. If you have ever stayed in ecstasy, if you have reached that level, you don't ever want to come back down to this. This is not where we want. So, that is Reiki. That is how Reiki is. My Reiki, I can do basic Reikis. Yes, I can align somebody's 7 chakras very quickly at a fire ceremony to allow them to feel grounded and inspired. I can assist in taking all 144 chakra patterns and balancing them and making sure that they are all spinning brilliantly and violently and vibrantly. Yeah. Now, the gift that I was given is called a rewire. And I love this. And I didn't do it to one master. I actually had several masters before I announced a rewire and practice of a gift of God. I'm able to take your 12 mind power centers of the physical and the 144 metaphysical chakras, and I get to be able to blend them all together in order to create a balance within. Now, for people who are unhealed, it doesn't last. 2 months, maybe. I have a gentleman who constantly, every 2 months, he used to come back to Miami. And I said, we can heal this. If you, no, that's too much. It's not his ready. He's not ready. It's not his journey. I told him in the beginning, I may not be here forever. He goes, yes, you will. Now you're going to come see me on my mountain. You can do this. You all are beautiful, beautiful, I am light conscious Christ beings. And you all can do it. Get out of the mainframe of negative news. People gossiping and talking about others. It's none of your damn business. What difference does it make if you know that so-and-so was shot? You don't know those people. Or so-and-so did this. Or so. Why are we promoting in human form these things? Why are we showing negative shit? Why are we showing the evil that has erupted within some soul that cannot get out of its low vibration? I don't want to see that. Most spiritual people no longer watch violent shows. They no longer watch shows that have that type of stuff. It creates that anxiety. It creates warfare mind. There are Templars out there, and that's their life purpose. That's your soul purpose, to be a Templar, to be a warrior. But these are not. These are kids with guns. These are people with guns who have emotional distraught issues because of trauma events that they had to go through. These are the healers that are so important. I always tell you, don't have a psychological counselor unless they can do physical and metaphysical. It is a balance. You are here to learn a life lesson. If this life lesson is a pattern of your soul, you need further help. I know, I did it. I healed this body. I'm so proud of it. I smile every day. I didn't smile for a long time because of my tooth. I have a yellow tooth because my face was split open. And I fear dentistry because of it. So I have a yellow, it took me forever to love me, every aspect of me. That is a principle. Those Reiki principles are that important. And when I learned it for my own self-healing and for my own self, there is nothing left besides the glory to be and love and balance and harmony and peace and justifiable awakenings. I am blessed. So are you. Find it. It's in there. Promise you. If you need help, call me. Go ahead. Reach out. Oh, it's not in the bottom. I don't know what happened to it. But on the bottom, usually it says the word of conscious positive thinking. I don't know what happened to it. But it's there. It's always there. All right, folks. That is what is Reiki today. It is Cinco de Mayo. It is time for MJ with her Jose Flores bandana on today to go get motivated and inspired by Cinco de Mayo, my beautiful Spanish friends and family. And we can have a beautiful day today. Don't forget it's spring gobbler season, and I got a lady with a beard. She's going to be on my table because I need a little bit of turkey in my life. But I love her. Wait till you check her out. Okay. See you next week. Be right here, same time, same station. Tonight, Beyond the Headlines, you'll be with myself, Terry, and HR Nightmare. Let's see what comes out of those troubled stances. I love you all. Many, many blessings. May the angels guide you home with peace, love, grace, joy, happiness, and abundance of what it is that you desire most. I'm MJ signing off here on the World of Conscious Positive Thinking on MBRadio.us.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.